Hi, everybody. This is Allison from Alleycat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, I connect the dot, an epiphany, a mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. The links are at the bottom of the description of this video. Another way to support me, alleycatcreations211.com, where you can see artwork, pyramids, more pyramids. They're all over the house. Organite, fun. All that stuff can be viewed. And if you're interested in anything, please email me because it's not a store, it's just a portfolio. Also, January 3rd is incoming. Make sure you get your entry in for this beautiful pyramid. It's $100 value, and I will be drawing a winner for this lovely pyramid January 3rd. Fun times. If you're interested in taking part in the raffle, really simple, go to my community tab and all the information is there. It's $5 entry US and channel members get a free entry. So make sure you also can look at channel memberships. That's another way you can support me, keep me fed, the lights on. It's really inexpensive and it helps supports the channel. And you get really fun perks with it. I will be doing another paint and sip at some point during the week. This one was fun. And it's more like a Bob Ross style. You watch, you relax, and if you're interested in doing it, you can rewatch. I also do paint, craft and sips, and I'm probably going to go live also during the week for another one of those beautiful, fun extravaganzas of doing creative stuff. I think a lot of people enjoy just watching me create stuff. I would take everybody over to the epoxy table, but the problem is there's a lot of stuff on it and it gets boring. It's quick. It's like watching paint dry. So I like being creative. That's my passion. And today, quantum AI and metaphysical ponderings, because what the fuck is going on? We're elevating and rising up in consciousness, and so is the science. Thank goodness. I have some articles to go over. But before I start that, the energy today is spiking a lot. So please take into consideration if you need water, if you need to rest, take naps, do so if you have the ability to go and do so. I'm going to take a cleansing bath after this. Yeah, ground as much as possible. This energy is awesome. And I listened to Brian Scott from the Reality Revolution, reading Daniel Scranton. I cried. And it's the same stuff in messaging, I say. Same. And I'm getting ear upgrades right now. Ringing, frequency, pressure in my ears. And I want to bring this out that we're all entangled to higher entity beings, and all the truth is really within us. The book, the reading that took place today that Brian did through Daniel Scranton's work, validates for me, and I hope for many of you, I hope you go and you're already listening to his stuff, whether it be Brian Scott reading it or Daniel Scranton. There's so many other people, but a lot of us that I haven't read Daniel's work as much as I would love to. You see, there's a lot of books behind me I still have to tackle, but I honestly don't think I need to, because I think I'm tapping into the same collective he is, because our wording is ridiculously similar, and it's freaky in a good way. So I'm hoping I'm an inspiration or a validation point for many people that are here watching me. Um, it it's very satisfying on the human level and the ego level. Sorry, guys. I have my heater running, not my dehumidifier. Um, like I'm being channeled like this is like nonstop. Like usually, I mean, we're always channeling, but like higher dimensionals are here, and my brain's fried. My brain and my body is fried. Um, I want you guys to know I'm not alone. A lot of us are here with the similar mission, right? It's saying it in your own words, your own feelings, your perceptions. They're not going to be mine, but if the wording feels it and hits, like there's that's why a lot of us came here. That's why a lot of us are incarnate right in this moment of time, because we are helping other people see a bigger expanded truth. And if we didn't have the concepts that I'm going to read, and the quantum entanglement, and the scientists really understanding the scientific components to spirituality, they haven't breached that topic yet. But a lot of us on the spiritual side are like, you're explaining stuff that a scientific logical mind that can't rationalize spirituality, you're explaining it in scientific terms that's helping more people that live in tangible evidence land conceive. And stuff that we've been saying, it's just, we need evidence, Allison. We need the tangibleness of the material world to prove things. Cool. Science. We'll give it that to you. As much as Blavatsky goes on and off about those scientists, right? Like there are some scientists she actually is like, yeah, you're on the right track. Science was way different in her time, but we're at that cliff, my allegorical cliff, where we're about to take the fool's leap, and science is just adding and adding and adding on to concepts and things that a lot of people have been speaking about for eons. Just not listened to. So the first article is off my private, like I have my own Facebook, Alley Cat Creations. I'm barely on there. I share a lot of stuff on there. But on my private page, many of you are on my private page. Many of you aren't. I only accept certain people because I've been infiltrated, I've been hacked, and a lot of we're living in duality, so I have to be very careful. I only post positive for the most part shit. So this article, it's not necessarily an article, someone made a post Physicists claim they've uncovered the first evidence of the multiverse. I've been talking about the multiverse for a long time. Dolores Cannon, if you're a big reader into her work, she talks about the multiverse. And now other beings channeling through people are starting, because I guess the illusion is dropping about what goes on. I've been describing this as the different timelines that you can jump into. That's the multiverse. Dimensions and densities are infinite in the expression of frequency. You know, I hear a lot. I watched a lot about a lot of WeNotMe today, on and off, and finally people are starting to like see the shit that I've been talking about is being spoken about by other people and experts in subject matter of such. It's great. Um, there's still people spewing hatred, so I will not partake in those things. I know a lot of people know my stance on a lot of that already. Um, before I dive into the article, you have to integrate. I talk about this a lot, but it's a frequency, so it is science, vibratory states. People talk about it as if they practice what they preach. I'm not sitting on my high horse and I don't want to be put on a soapbox. It's not my intention to do so. But for a lot of people who are still allowing other people's paradigms to bleed in and overlay onto theirs, just be weary. A lot of people have read Ashiana Dean's work. A lot. And a lot of people are well advanced into her studies. Just because you read her books doesn't make you the authority of explaining her work. I have yet to tackle that myself. And because of her work being so super copyrighted, I won't tackle much of it out of respect. It's her work. And there are, in my estimations, some inversions in it too, just like the Keys of Enoch has a lot of inversions in it. Not all of it's false information, but there are things in there that are a little askew, and that's a lot of work. You have to take the information and go into your heart space to understand it, understand it, and incorporate it in your being if it aligns with you. Reading something and making it so and making it absolute is not the answer. That includes anything I speak about. I'm giving you my perception, my journey through my discoveries, my aha moments, in hopes that the information that I am presenting also helps you on your personal journey. That's the importance of my statement there. There's a lot of very intelligent people out there who have done a lot of work in a lot of different fields. And they've walked it, talked it, emoted it, and lived by their own words. I have to live by mine. but not because I read it in a book and I make it that it's an absolute truth. There is no absolute truth. But what is truth is a frequency of where you're at vibrationally. We're being asked right now to check in with yourselves to know where you're vibrating at and go accordingly to how you've been feeling. We're all in this upgrade madness. And we are elevating. As we have seen in this article, the first evidence of the multiverse. Physicists believe they may have discovered the first evidence of the multiverse. The multiverse theory suggests that our universe is just one of many branching and infinite universes. To find evidence for the multiverse, scientists examine the cosmic microwave background, CMBR, the light left over from the Big Bang. Now, pause there because we've had articles talk about if the Big Bang really even existed. I believe to some extent that an event did happen because if we base sort of those two books and combine them together about the cosmology, things had to be brought into physical dense matter. If all things are energy and energy exists in different states, things had to densify the energy thereof, all that is needed to have an experience in physical mattered form. And here's the experiment. Our little universe. So did an event happen? Sure. Was it a big bang necessarily? Is it, we limited ourselves to the one and done kind of theory, and it's not a one and done. Because if there's infinite versions of the multiverse, there's infinite versions of what the Big Bang and perception is. Like we can rip that apart. Starting in 2004, they discovered 4 patches in the sky that could potentially hold evidence of these alternate universes. One such patch, called the cold spot, is particularly intriguing, initially thought to be a super void, an area with significantly fewer galaxies. Researchers now believe it might be evidence of a collision between our universe and another bubble universe. Specifically, the cold spot's unique temperature characteristic challenge the super void explanation, suggesting a possible collision with another bubble universe. At the time, it was believed that this finding, if confirmed, could be the first direct evidence of the multiverse. The European Space Agency's Planck mission confirmed its existence in 2014, And additionally, studies on the cold spot have since fueled the multiverse debate. Researchers from Royal Astronomical Society conducted a survey of 7,000 galactic redshifts. Redshifts occur when distant galaxies expand, stretching their light into longer wavelengths. The farther a galaxy is, the greater its redshift, enabling cosmologists to estimate galactic distances. Using the extensive dataset and spectrographic analysis, researchers find that no existing explanation for the cold spot aligns with standard redshift theories. According to the Royal Astronomical Society, without a super void to explain the cold spot, simulations suggest that's only 1 in 50% chance that this phenomenon occurred by random chance. The voids have been detected cannot explain the cold spot under standard cosmology. There is the possibility that some non-standard model could be proposed to link the two in the future. But our data place powerful constraints on any attempt to do that. Rura Mackenzie from Durham University said of that discovery, while more evidence is needed to confirm the existence of the multiverse, this finding offers a tantalizing glimpse into the possibility of the universe far more complex and vast than the previously imagined. This concept of the multiverse, once regulated to the realm of science fiction, is now at the forefront of scientific inquiry, with the potential to revolutionize our understanding of the cosmos. It's because our consciousness is expanding, folks, and we're moving dimensions and densities and having all kinds of fun, expansive thinking happening. Congratulations, you're a part of the shift and the dime that goes with it. Trying to make a funny, but that wasn't really funny. If we have an understanding that our thoughts create a reality, our thoughts create things, and collectively, as a collective of humans, the infinite possibilities and potentialities that occur as we're all manifesting concurrently in time space in the now moment, all things unconsciously and subconsciously, that all of these paradigms do exist regardless of there being a multiverse, prove it or not. Doesn't matter if there's a flat earth to a globe earth to a toroidal earth, a donut earth, doesn't really matter because we're all perceiving different. So each multiversal possibility, potentiality is playing out. It's up to your frequency and vibration to be on those delineations of time space to experience it. We're entangled to all things. So we're entangled to our thoughts that create outside of us. It's a big conundrum to think how vast our thinking goes. But if we then remember our thoughts are not really ours, where it's our souls, and our soul is infinite and is playing lots of different characters on different stages of this evolutionary process, whether it be a simulated holographic ontological universe that 3D is, in my estimation and perception, or if we're going up to 4, which is the bridge to quantum, we're only bridging ontological to the quantum state. After quantum, who knows what else is out there for us to discover in human society, but we're getting and shifting to those places. Technology seems to be outgrowing and outdoing itself. And yes, a lot of the technology is old. Why you'll never see me go to a med bed until later on in life, when I have the gut knowing that I'm not putting myself into a trap. That I know the person that made the machine, I know the people that are working the machine, and all those avenues of people of the light, that there's no interference or entanglement from something outside of this paradigm that will negatively polarize or distort the machine's frequencies. Everybody's so gung-ho to jump into technology that they know not. Because you want the instant gratification to be healed without you realizing you contracted your... And that's a hard thing to muster. Like, why did you choose your life? What did you need to learn? And why does it suck so bad? I say this to myself all the time. Why the did I choose that? I'm going to kick myself when I get back up there. Like, asshole. I don't like you upstairs, myself. Oh, but you needed that. No, I did not. No, I volunteered. I should get a little hall pass. And I know many of you are like, yeah, Allison, yep, I align with that. Totally. I kicked myself really hard up there if I had the know-how. Done. I think that's what is really difficult about like this gap. It's difficult. Once you have that awareness, like, why the fuck would I choose this shit? Okay, so I create my reality, but then I had to create a story based on this reality. Holy, gets complicated. I'm just like, can I just shift to my light being? Because I just want to send my love to everybody. Kind of hard. In a world still so very heavily polarized. I see it every day. I saw it today. People are still ignorant to the bigger truths. Or they're just not accepting them right now because they're still in their ego. Not, it's not necessarily a judgment, it's just where we're at. This is also off of my Facebook. Large Hadron Collider finds the heaviest antimatter particle yet. Breaking. CERN discovers the anti-hyperhelium -4, the heaviest antimatter particle yet. Scientists at CERN's Large Hadron Collider have discovered the heaviest antimatter particle ever observed. This exotic particle, the antimatter counterpart of hyperhelium-4, contains two antiprotons, an anti-neutron, and an I don't know how to say this, AMBDA particle. The breakthrough offers insights into the extreme conditions of the early universe and sheds light on the baryon asymmetry problem. Why our universe is dominated by matter despite matter and antimatter being created in equal amounts during the Big Bang. The discovery was made to use lead ion collisions at the LHC, creating the hyper hot environment of the newborn universe. Machine learning models analyze the data, identifying anti-hyperhelium-4 particles and precisely measuring their masses. While the experiment confirmed the matter and antimatter are created in equal portions, the mystery of what tipped the cosmic balance remains unsolved. With ongoing upgrades to the LHC, more groundbreaking discoveries in antimatter research could be on the horizon. So if we look at Ashtiana Dane's work, there is parallel Earth. That's probably the antiparticle, antimatter Earth. There is the black hole paradigm, the cube paradigm. There's an infinitude of different paradigms that parallel Earths. And the beings that inhabit those places as well. And a lot of them snuck into this paradigm and have a negative polarized appearance and want to dominate society. I don't want to feed those loops of thinking because that gives them energy to create even more. Once you understand how energy works and how it affects your thinking, your mind, your reality, sure, it's taking place, but there's an infinite amount of things taking place at this one given moment. There are 15 billion million particles zooming and whizzing in front of your face in this moment in time. Do you even see them? I kind of sort of see some. There are 100,000s of people right now walking amongst the city streets in New York, and you're part of that. There are thousands and hundreds of millions of people sitting in their living rooms right now watching television, getting programmed. You're a part of that too. If you were to sit in meditation to see all these things playing out as self, it's insane. That's how entangled you are to all things. But you got to be aware of them. Is there a parallel Earth? Sure. But I want it over there. I don't need it overlaying over here. The antimatter matter controversies that has been plaguing scientists forever. Just a paradigm. But will that information aid us in the future? Sure. All things have a positive, a pro, and a con to its knowing. We're still in duality. I just find it merely interesting. What are your thoughts? I mean, if it's not affecting you in this right here and now moment, does it really matter? You see how I did a funny? This next article piqued my little purview, piqued my interests. Smidgen. Scientists built the fast engine powered by entanglement, not coal or oil. Popular mechanics. It's as wild as it sounds by Darren Orff. Scientists at the Chinese Academy of Sciences have developed a quantum engine powered by entanglement. The quantum property allows for the transfer of information across vast distances. The researchers created this engine by placing two calcium atoms in an ion trap, zapping it with a laser, and using the differences in entanglement rather than heat to create energy. This concept doesn't improve on the conversion efficiency of previous quantum engines, but it does prove the increased entanglement positively impacts mechanical efficiency. The word quantum is proliferating into nearly every facet of modern technology. There's quantum computers, of course, but also quantum hard drives, quantum internet, and yes, even quantum engines. However, as is true with all of these other quantum technologies, this isn't your typical piston combustion situation. Instead, these engines leverage the wonky properties of quantum mechanics to introduce mechanical motion. Although an incredibly nascent technology, quantum engines come in a couple different flavors. Last year, scientists at the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology developed a quantum engine that leveraged the complicated interplay between fermions and Bose-Einstein condensates. This created energy by replacing heat, the typical energy source of ice engine, with the quantum nature of the particles in gas. A press statement read at the time, this engine had an efficiency of 25%. Not bad for a first go at it, but nowhere close to becoming a practical engine. Now scientists from Chinese Academy of Science have developed another method from creating a quantum engine by leveraging another kind of quantum quirk, entanglement. The poster child for all things quantum entanglement is the state that occurs when two particles are in superposition, meaning that their information is inextricably linked, no matter the distance between them. The study used calcium atoms in an ion trap, and at its most basic, the engine harnessed a thermodynamic process that occurs when particles transition from initial to highly entangled states. The results of this study were published in the journal. Our studies highlight in the first experimental realization of a quantum engine with entangled characteristics. Zhao Fei, a co-author of the study, told the state-sponsored media outlet South China Morning Post. It quantitatively varied that entanglement can serve as a type of fuel. We chose the entangled states of two spinning ions as the working substance, with their vibrational modes acting as the load. Through precise adjustments of laser frequency, amplitude, and duration, the ions were transitioned from their initial pure states to highly entangled states, Zhao told the South China Morning Post. This new method didn't improve upon previous quantum engines' conversion efficiency, but the study proved that entanglement can generate useful energy. The team analyzed more than 10,000 experiments using calcium ions and found that increased levels of entanglement created improved mechanical efficiency. Like quantum computers, these engines powered by entanglement only operate at temperatures approaching absolute zero, but further research could make these engines and batteries capable of powering expansive quantum computers and circuits. Only time will tell. We're getting there. So for all of those out there who are all about this quantum nonsense, with the millions of things called quantum, they still haven't figured all of the technicalities out. And that could also be propaganda with the quantum this and quantum that. All things are entangled, correct. But like, think about when you are watching me and all of a sudden I get really super red, and not because my lights are on and I project pink, but my face actually gets really red. What do you think is happening? I am channeling higher quantities of information entangled to my oversoul or other selves. They're still not there in our time frame, time space, linear time construct, where people are saying, well, the banks and they're gonna know that you're a good person and yada yada yada. And as much as that could possibly potentially be a technology that's potentially in the works, is it out yet? Is it actually working, or is it a fairy tale that they tell you? But that's also another source of domination and control over you. I could wake up in a really goddamn bad mood and say the world and cunty cunt cunt cunt, and uh they're not gonna let me get into my bank account because I'm just having a bad day. That doesn't seem feasible. And then that mode of thinking is only a limiting belief because you're limiting and separating and living in the polarization and duality of 3D. We're moving on up, so we got to think on other scales of thinking. This is where a lot of people are stuck, is where you're thinking on a 3D level and you're not thinking multidimensionally. You're not thinking on a higher frame of scale in the vibratory bandwidth of where you're at. You have to think all the way up. Stop limiting yourself, and why would I want power over using technology to have a power over me in my tangible universe? Yes, sure. Things have structure in place for a reason. And as much as we want to give the credence to the light will win, and there's a lot of false light that people are still not seeing. Truth be told, there's still a lot of nefariousness going on in this universe that is beyond our conception. There's still lower vibratory beings that have more knowledge and intellect than we do. We're very easily manipulated as a society, as a humanity, and in groups. You got to look at all possibilities and probabilities and choose differently in how you explore what is to come. I think a lot of people are limiting themselves to this 3D paradigm when it comes to the financial system, when it comes to law and order, when it comes to galactic stuff even. I don't want another society coming and having a white flag and saving the fucking day. It's coming through me and all the other access to my other selves that are coming and helping unchain humanity. I'm not alone. That's half of you as well. But let's just face it. In what density in dimensional space? These paradigms already exist. It's us merging our field of frequency to get there. And it's going to take a long time. We got to be realistic. All these crypto coins and all these fanciful, lovely things, they seem great. I'm not against or for them. I just know it's a little on the complicated side. Things should not be in God's perception of all of us working together. Nothing should be super complicated. And life is becoming super complicated. It shouldn't be that way. As all of us get older, technology keeps advancing, and a lot of us are either keeping up with it or not. And it should be accessible to all. If it's too complicated, a person on the lower scale of intellect, and that's just what they chose to experience, but anybody should be having access to things that are not that complicated. When you have to like NFTs and this has to cross over here and you have to use a wallet and the wallet has to be this, and then you have to use like 8 apps to get to an authenticator to get me to sell my through Pancake and this thing and that. It's too complicated for me, and I'm techie. It's too complicated. Too many people are throwing all their energy into that. And that's cool if you're into it. But as a society, is someone in the remote village in the Amazon really going to give a shit about a crypto? No. Um, let's just face it. As society is moving forward and we're up we're taking advantage for the most part as a collective. The time dilations that have been occurring, zipping in and out of different portal systems, and this is within us. This is not something, yeah, there's portals presenting themselves outside. It's just to open your freaking eyes up to all the expansiveness. But as things get more complicated, what does that do? That creates the paradigm of having power over others. And that's the very thing we're trying to escape from. You just got to look at the laws of nature, the hermetic principles, the golden rule, whatever you want to equate the laws of nature. When things get too overly complicated, it becomes a power struggle over another lesser sub. There's no inferiority. Humans are humans, but we all think in different frequency and bandwidths. And when you're choosing to use an everyday consuming energy and using it to overpower, because if 500 to 700 people in the world have like the expertise in this, they hold dominion over everybody else, whether they like it or not. If people are sharing their information, it's in a perception from how they view it. Are these people really having a power over it? Probably not, but it is a power over the people who can't do it or just can't comprehend how things work. And that will affect them in the long term when they can't buy food or make everyday commerce happen for them. We have to look at humanity in a way where these people are taking concepts and seeing and applying it to see what is going to work and what doesn't work to improve for everybody. And they're going to make it so basic and so simple to drive a vehicle. Japan just came out with magnetism as steering the car. Levitation. Like Jetsons were almost there. I still want my Rosie the robot. I don't need to fly a car because if you've seen how people drive on the roads around here and anywhere, basically, no thanks. I don't want to be up there with that. Um, I'll leave that to the actual pilots who are actually trained to pilot vehicles. But things are slowly coming into our awareness that things are going to get more complicated before they get easier. But the misconception I think a lot of humanity has is everything's going to happen in a snap and everything's going to change on a whim. And that is not how reality is going to work. As much as you might think so, things are speeding up in a good way. Technologies are advancing in a way that everybody can use it. That's wonderful. Yeah, listen, everybody, if you go from an iPhone to an Android or vice versa, there's a lot of learning curves you have to have, right? But even my mother was able to turn on a computer and figure it out. You know, that things need to be basic enough for everybody to be able to use it. And that comes down to a financial system. Because everybody has to have the need to use it because we still need that as a currency, as a paradigm for right now. So just these things ponder me in my brain, and the use of technology like AI. I think AI, when used properly, will be a very amazing asset. But here's the thing, AI doesn't think like a human. and it could misread a lot of things. If it's just reading words, most people like the basic relationship plunder in humanity is when people text some shit and then it was taken the wrong way, but words can be taken anyway if it's the will of intention of what you're putting into a word that matters. Mourning and mourning, I'm mourning your death, and good morning. There's multiple uses for a lot of the words in our languages, and AI can misinterpret a lot for you. So you got to use these technologies with your best will of intention used into it. I also don't agree with a lot of AI taking other people's jobs. Like, it's making things obsolete, but until there's something to replace the obsoleteness of certain jobs and technologies that other people can jump on so that we still have people thriving, that's another humanity needs to tackle that issue. Back in a specific movement, said person used to say, oh, well, the military is using a quantum computer and things need to happen at a certain percentage. Why the fuck is a computer dictating moves that us humans need to do? It's one thing to collect data and then study the data and then make a projection off of that. But if you're giving AI all your data and you're allowing the computer to do it for you, is it really your work anymore? It's useful in certain avenues of thinking and avenues of work. And then there's a lot of downfalling to it. Do you lose your humanness and the connection to humanness because AI is manipulating your work? I know a lot of people are starting to do a lot of graphics and illustration using AI overlays, and are we really just trying to distort reality or enhance it in a good, positive way? We're still playing duality. We're still playing the ping pong match. And it's important to know where you are and what you're realizing, what you're seeing. As much as I'm happy that this technology is outcoming and all these people are striving to figure these very interesting, quirky entanglement issues out, at the crux of the end of the day, this is just proving you're entangled to your other selves. What can I say? It's why I get red in the face and I heat up because I'm being channeled. And I know many of you feel the same way when you're getting channeled and you're just not realizing it. This next article by IFL Science, a sixth sense for magnetic fields may be surprisingly common in animals. Fruit flies can detect magnetic fields, and the way they do it suggests the capacity is widespread in the animal kingdom, not a rare anomaly. Many migratory species use the Earth's magnetic field to keep their journeys on track. Now, a study of non-migratory animals, the Drosophila fruit fly, shows the same capacity exists in some unexpected places. Perhaps humans are the rare ones because we don't have the capability. If so, why not? I believe we do. In the quest for survival, access to information about the world, particularly information your rivals lack, is exceptionally valuable. So it is not surprising animals have developed an astonishing array of ways to observe the world around them. Magnetic fields are one of these, but before humanity's invention of powerful electromagnetics, these were generally very weak. The effort required to detect them was much greater than for light or sound. I'm just reading on it. It's basic information that anybody can find, but what is interesting is that the poles shift. Uh, I only read one or two articles about the shift, and they both kind of contradict each other in terms of where the placement of these shifts have happened. But most of us are in the awareness that poles have shift. And the location, does it matter? I don't know. Yes, no. In Animal Kingdom, probably. But for those of you in the lands that could see animals flying and the shifts of migratory species, it is interesting to see if their migrations will potentially change with the shifting of the poles or not. I know there are a lot of people who would deem humans don't have that ability, and I say that we do. Certain people are more sensitive to electromagnetic fields than others. Um, we all have them, our heart, our poles within our bodies, making sure that you are grounding to the earth is reestablishing your electromagnetic field. So sure. Oh, and I read that already. Different article. Um, yeah, I'm just looking through Facebook Wonderings just to see what's going on. I love this quote. Reality exists because you are aware of it. Without your awareness, it's just information. And then this has been going around in meme form. The ether is the ever-present field that connects all things. Yes, everything is connected. Every inch of the ether consists of infinite amount of free energy. This is the elite's greatest secret. If science were to reveal that ether exists, it would destroy the entire foundation of mainstream atomism and particle science. Denying ether would be like a fish denying that it is surrounded by water. I put this as a TikTok. Unfortunately, I cannot play it for the music presence, but the truth vibrates at a certain frequency. That's why you can feel it in your body. When you hear or experience truth, your entire body resonates with it as if you know it all along. That's why when I speak, a lot of people get goosebumps or get tingling sensations within themselves. I do this to Dina a lot. She's like, oh, but just like I was saying earlier with Daniel Scranton and what Brian Scott read today for his channel, like I cried because that is actual truth. What I'm hearing is not, it's just a reverberation of the things that I get, but it's validating. It gives you an emotional state. And this is all somehow going to be proven scientifically and is already, for the most part, scientifically proven. It's just not out there for the masses to understand because If they understood that we wouldn't be here in this plethora of chaos, and I would not have my purpose being served, as many of you would be in the same light. I've probably read this already on this channel, but it gives credence to my thinking mind ages ago. I want to fade away in the disillusion we created by the illusion we live in. That was probably written when I was in college trying to understand the law of one. Perhaps. I've written some crazy shit in my time, and I really should go back to read my work again. Most of it is failed relationships and drama that I just needed to get out somewhere, and on the pen it was. But going into the quantum and the science and all that fun stuff, there's a lot of great things happening in the science world. Um, as much as the other polarity is playing itself out as well, and that's where us humanity need to hold accountable what these experiments and these corporations are doing. Um, a lot of the scientists that are out there are doing things out of pure curiosity and creativity. And they're not polarized or distorted to be a certain way. Um, most of these geniuses and these highly intellectual people are just doing them. They're not having an incentive. Most scientists don't understand the Nobel Peace Prize and all the prizes you can win for physics and science, that it's like all distortion. They're not in that thinking mind frame that all is conspiracy and whatever. Um, so they're just doing them, going to doing their brainiac stuff, which I love. A lot of them aren't in the awareness that a lot of what they have discovered or the things that they're using are being exploited for negativity. And it's hopefully something in the forefront of now people being more consciously aware of the polarization of humanity, that you got to be aware of the experiments taking place. And if they can shift reality, they can distort time space reality in the 3D, which will affect and ripple out to the other dimensions and densities. If the multiverse is real, which I project it is, we already exploded and deploted ourselves. And we're here coming back to unravel all of that before it even happened at a 0 point. There's a lot of technical stuff that we're seeing in the skies, and it's just a way of waking up the rest. And that doesn't mean we're not supposed to be waking up, Allison. I'm not here to wake up anybody. I'm here to enlighten and expand thinking. That's my duty. And that's most of yours. If we stumble upon somebody that gives us epiphanies and something further to look into, and that's just beautiful things in consciousness. We have to go within and stop getting stuck on everybody else and where everybody else's journey is. Where's your journey? What we can do is hold certain people who are in the illusionment that we give them the power to hold over us, right? We allow it, we consented to it. Now it's to take our power back from it, regardless if you're like, no, I didn't do it. But you're doing it now because you're serving them. It is a paradigm we have to overcome. We have to be really careful who holds the power. And we're still allowing this power dynamic to continue when you're allowing certain entities to just have all the money and dictate to you what to do, whether it be on the light side or the bad side. Shouldn't be any side. I only say this because of the political climate and the people that are incoming in the new administration. I have my, theories about some of them. And if we look to the channel TV thing and you watch Altered Carbon, that's just an Elon Musk paradigm that's being exposed. There's a lot of good damn things in that show. A lot. But the technology in that show, and it's where everybody gets a shell and it's implanted with the soul, and it's expressing different vehicles in the same soul with the same name. It's fascinating. And where I got to in the show was an ancient was working through one of these modality shells. Fascinating television show. It's a Netflix show, but it's worth pondering if that's the paradigm that Elon Musk wants to take us in or something similar to it. I don't want to experience that. I've had enough lives in a show, in dense vehicles. I don't want to have that experience anymore. I want to go straight up to my light being and have fun. Be a guide. Consciously. Altered Carbon. I talk about this a lot, and I think that if we're looking and exploring the scientific avenues of things, that we need to look at what we are going to allow in the next dimensional density space when it comes to technology. Not all of it's bad, and I think a lot of it's going to help humanity. Yet at the same in the same vibratory same breath, we need to be cautious about what we're allowing to have power over us and what we want and what we don't want in the new society, the new world that we are all consciously creating, which is consciousness, it's energy. We got to be very weary about what we give our energy to. And we got to be careful of how that energy is used. The concept laid out in Reconstructing Reality when it comes to technology, when it comes to the idea of the service to self, service to others, the power over others, and everybody having an independent freedom voice. This is where the banking and the financial thing is where I'm at, is very stuck in my thinking. I don't want to hand my power over to anybody. And even yes, if I have control over it, what's entangled to it? If it's going to read my consciousness and my signature and all the source, then all things are going to still have its capabilities of purchasing power. It gets tricky when you start adding on the higher densities of thinking and the expansiveness of if God's in all things and we're all one, that therefore the people that you claim are just doing bad, horrible things, they're still part of that one. And we came into this conundrum in Atlantis. There was the dark, the light, and then the neutral. And both survived. Even though the majority of the civilization fell, it carried on in Egypt and in Norway. I'll just leave that as a foundation up there. India, South America. The social memory complexes came down after the fall of Atlantis to help reseed humanity. To potentiality and a timeline playing out right now. We're all trying to heal those paradigms, by the way. Bringing love through it. The essence of all of what we need to understand is that all is experience, and most of this is an illusion. It's just to teach and learn. Once you have the understanding, you don't need it anymore. You graduate up into a higher consciousness. And we gotta let the ego drop. That's not to say not to have boundaries and not to have opinions on things. It's a lot of people talk, but they're not walking their talk. And then there's people with intentions that are masked with light, with dark intentions, or self-aggrandizement. Instead of purely just helping because you want to help. There's something behind that help. So a lot of systems do need to come down, but it's up to us to replace them with something better and something that's going to work for the construct of nature. I believe we are headed in the better direction. I don't know if it's the right direction. Um, I can only hope that when more people understand what they are and who they are, a lot of this distraction going on the outside world is just distraction. It's waste information that doesn't need to be tapped into anymore, that we start thinking on what we want instead of what we don't prefer. We have to have a commonality in order for it to manifest as a humanity. So choose wisely your thoughts, where you're putting your thoughts, your emotional states. Choose to live your best life every day. And that's not going to happen every day. The energies around right now are allowing us to continuously purge out energy that no longer serves this vehicle or our consciousness. There's a lot playing out because we chose the difficult scenarios. We all chose a very difficult life. Everybody that I talk to has had extremes in circumstances and loss and tragedy and accidents and all kinds of craziness. We all chose these very difficult paths because we're not coming back, baby. We're not coming back. Last human essence. And I literally did when my mother died and I went to a tarot card reader. And no, it was when my mother was alive. my birth mother came through a tarot card reading. I didn't even know my birth mother was dead or alive at that point. I had no idea. Um, the lady read me. She's like, "You're not coming back. This is your last life." Damn sure right. She's right. It is. Can't wait to, you know, I'm thankful for this experience. I'm tired, and so are so many other people were tired. And our mission's just begun. They began a long time ago, but it's really hitting now. Like, you say and claim you're awake, but you're only awake at the frequency of where you're awake at. You're looking at me and listening to what I'm saying, in chats and stuff, and people poo-poo me. I'm not saying anything differently from Daniel Scranton to Dolores Cannon, Brian Scott, Ann Tucker. I'm just not leading you down a rabbit hole of flashing lights. That's going to happen, and all of a sudden everything changes. And that's not how my paradigm is going to play out. It might for you, not for me. I'm not manifesting such because we still have the awareness that we have to still play out a 3D role. So choose to believe what you would like. I know I don't align with that flashlight. And if it happens, it's going to come through me differently. And I believe many of you feel that very, very similar to myself. And the 3 days of darkness, it's fear porn. Here's a tip. It's been raining here all day, guys, so I'm a creaky old lady mess. Don't mind me. Here's a tip. Anytime you hear someone say anything out of fear, predictions, and this is said by Daniel Scranton, but I've been saying this, but it needs to be repeated. You hear the channels, the 3 days of darkness. Oh my gosh, please get ready. The drones are coming. This is coming. Oh, that's fear. Why are you feeding it? Why are you thinking about it? Why is it renting space in your brain? Seriously, though. Okay, so these people did bad shit. We're unfolding and unwrapping it. That's God. Okay, cool. Not renting space in my brain anymore because, okay, what's the lesson? Stop freaking giving your power over to people. You're helping them manifest continuously by thinking about it all the time and hating, putting the frequency out of hate. What happens if you would tackle that with love? Oh, how hard of a concept would that be? Oh, Allison, but they do the bad things to the kids. Okay. Okay, so you continuously feeding hate is continuously allowing the paradigm to continue on in this pathway. Trump is not coming down on his white horse. I don't care how many versions of Trump there is and what he's incarnated, not incarnated. We're all aspects of source playing a role and exploring a theme. Stop feeding them the right to manifest a reality that you don't want manifested. But because it's brought to your attention and you give a feeling and emotion to it, you're perpetuating the loop. When I listen to my best friends, I objectively listen without feeling. I am not giving that side my energy to manifest a reality I don't belong in anymore. It's as simple as that. It sucks to not be a part of a train that everybody is on, but I know the pure train is straight to source. That's my mission. Not supposed to go with the fold. I'm supposed to be different. I am the black sheep. Hi. But many of you are too. So when we continuously loop their shit, it perpetuates the energy for them. It gives them momentum. This is science to manifest. It gives them a cause and effect. While you are sitting here thinking that Sarah and all this beautiful things are happening because numbers are succinctly happening in a 3D paradigm, that all is going to happen according to that, which, yes, things have unfolded, don't get me wrong, and I'm not against that at all. What I am against is the perpetuation of that side continuously manifesting as a negative distortion. I'd rather the positives start getting over here and further away. We need that train station to go further away, and that train no longer has any more stops. So either on your negative or you're on the positive side. There's no right or wrong. Remember that. It's still God. It's playing itself out. They're going to go over there. We're going to go over here. There is a split shift happening. But what determines your choice is what you're feeding your energy into. You could be the best person in the world, but if you keep allowing these thoughts of yours to be consumed by negativity and fear and shame and blame, you're going to probably get stuck. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anybody. You got to have the right will of intention to block. You can listen, just block out the feelings for it. I'm not manifesting for that side anymore. I don't want to take in hate, shame, or blame anymore, so I shut it off. I mute. It's a choice I make. Are you making that same choice? I like all these inventions and all these experiments happening, but if it's going to be a detriment to humanity, it needs to stop. Right now, we need people discovering what's already been here. It's just discovering it on a higher level, bringing it into advancement. We need to pour in the intention that it's going to be worked for the light and not for the darkness, because we're still, remember, in a 3D form. Consciously, we're higher than that. But you still live in a 3D vehicle on a third dimensional plane. Gaia, our beautiful Earth, she's doing the inner work too. She's purging. And what is unfolding is her manifestations purging out into this world as well. She's conscious. So you have to take into consideration how we've been treating our planet. Her consciousness is purging, and things are shifting amongst our consciousness. The mastery of your mind is always a forever process, but it's coming into awareness, integrating the information that hits here, using it, walking it, and emoting it into your field of energy. If you project false light, like saying, I love you all, but not you over there, it's false light. There's a lot of hypocrites in this world, and there's a lot of people who have hidden agendas and can mask it really well. This is where we're being asked to tap into your higher ended abilities, to tap into self, to have more discernment within self, to read other people and their intentions, to see the masks, to see that people dictate to you what they're thinking and feeling, but are they actually living what they're saying? Or are they misguiding you energetically? It's up for you to decide. But science and quantum physics is just going to prove a lot of spiritual people we're not crazy after all, that we've been talking about portal stargates and technology for a very long time, just in a spiritual context, and that this technology has always been here. The aliens have always been here. Sorry, just raise your frequency. They're here. They've been here. They're occupying our space right now. I'm sure I got a few of them behind me. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Metaphysics. It just dive deep into it. It's very fascinating. When we have an open mind, we can explore the world at large in an expansive way. When we're limiting our thinking and limiting ourselves to certain information because, oh, it's another rabbit hole, let me do a million projections of other people's opinions. Yeah, you're going to expand, but are you opening up the floodgates? Or are you limiting yourself? Those are only questions you can answer for yourself. I'm just here as a channel to higher density beings trying to give and deliver messages. I don't need to sit here with my eyes closed to talk in another strange language to give you what is flowing right through me. It's disheartening to see what's happening right now. And I'm hoping that eventually, with all these upgrades and downloads, that more people start expanding thinking and stop limiting themselves, getting out of the distractions that are happening in the world to keep you from doing the work on yourself. It's a forever process. And when you're being a hypocrite and you're just pacifying other people and not feeling these things, you're not integrating the information, you're not using it at your disposal for your best, highest good. We're going to be here for a long time, guys. So hopefully more people start doing the work and integrate these beautiful potentialities that exist. And I know many of us have experienced these high frequency times and get little glimpses of how beautiful this world can be, but we got to create it together. We can't leave anybody out. And I think that's where everybody's stuck right now. It's still the victimizer mentality, and we got to get out of that. So let's keep advancing the motor vehicle area. I need a new car. Bad. I need an SUV actually. As much as I would like a truck, a SUV, a nice mid-size SUV would be great. Let's manifest that for me. And manifest abundance in financial forms, because my gosh, it's hard. I just want to be content. I don't need a lavish, luxurious lifestyle. I don't. Um, I just like a plain and simple life. I like never been on a real actual vacation. I haven't been outside the United States. I have not really got to experience much in this beautiful existence. In this vehicle, I have traveled in my life vehicle, but a lot of things escape me for good reason, I'm sure. But I hope to experience more of what this world is for what it is. And I know a lot of you want to do the same. So let's create it together. And let's hope that we don't implode ourselves again. Sending each and every one of you love, like a passion, grace, shielding, or protective energy. Please go within. Be the physical shoulder. Be that lighthouse. Shine it bright. Seed your truths respectfully and truthfully. Mature. And let's hope that as a humanity, we choose to put our energy and intention into technology that's going to better us and keep humans thriving and not have a power over us, because we already gave our power over a long time ago. So let's reclaim it in all areas, including technology. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching. I should have a TikTok video at some point for tomorrow. I think I have to work on that. I'm gonna do another paint sip video. I'm trying to get stuff done this because I'm off this week so that I can put it out in later time. So I'm gonna be doing a lot. I'm gonna be doing another craft and sip this week. I'm gonna try to get a lot more done before I'm back to work and back to the grind. So look out for those announcements and those things around the plethora and ether. January 3rd, I have a raffle. Go look at my community tab for the details. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thank you for your support and your love and light. Bye for now.